So I would like to welcome Gosli. Gosli is Associate Engineering Manager at Cornerstone On Demand with 12 plus years of experience in the software industry. He has previously worked in companies like JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, and Infosys. Gosley would be speaking on look beyond what the eyes can see, reviving visual validations. As the topic says, I can just uh, I can relate with the previous topic was magic, and the new topic is look beyond what the eye can see, reviving visual validation. So it's gonna be great. I hope so. And if you want to know more about Gosley, you can visit Selenium Summit 21 website, and then there is a speaker section. You get to know about him more. So welcome, Gosley. Stage is all set, all yours now.
So yeah, from a magical presentation, I just want to start off my presentation with bit of a magic or a magic trick, if you say. So in a moment, you will be entering into a magical world. I'll be showing you a magic by David Copperfield. So here are 6 different cards. Just think of any one card. You don't need to click on it or touch it. Just think of it in your mind. Now look straight into the eyes of David Copperfield and think of your card. You'll realize that now your card is gone. Now what I did was just a simple magic trick. And here is my talk, which is look beyond what your eyes can see. At times our eyes are deceived and we may not be able to capture or identify what the visual bugs are. And here is my talk today about reviving visual validations. About me, I'm Jocelyn Andrades, Associate Engineering Manager, Cornerstone On Demand. I have 12 years of experience, worked in organizations like JP Morgan, BNP Paribas, and Infosys. I'm a certified AWS Solutions Architect, a certified Scrum Master, certified Agile Leader, and a Six Sigma Yellow Belt. So here is a quick check of your visual ability. Here are 2 images, and there are around 6 differences between both of these images. So I'd like each one of you to participate and just speak up in terms of if you can see these differences. Right now, I cannot see your chat window, so maybe if the host could coordinate with people who are putting it in their chat window in terms of the differences that they are identifying, if they can, if the host can just talk me through what the participants are looking at in terms of differences.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. So key in your differences that you see here, there are around 6 differences. Approximately 90% of the people fail to find out these 6 differences in under a minute. So I'll give you a few seconds to see if any one of you is able to identify differences here. So keeping your comments in the chat.
Yeah, I'll start reading out the comments.
Sure.
The first comment we have received, brown boy smiley is different. The clouds, yellow dress, lots of bombarding. Yeah. Yes, yellow dress has a strain. The right
Yes.
yellow boy image does not have one patch, 2 dots of mud on left side. Brown
Right.
boy, one hand is white. Brown boy smile, the dots near. Uh,
Great. So I see some of you have identified some of the differences. So let's go ahead. So here are the 6 differences. Basically, the hair is missing, the grass is missing. You can see the hand color is missing, the eyes is missing, the mud on the yellow shirt and the mud on the upper leg is missing. So here are these visual differences. Now it's so easy for a human to miss some of these differences, and that's when the concept of having visual validation comes into picture. So, as per survey by Adobe, around 39% of the people would stop engaging with a website if the images don't load or take too long to load. And in a similar fashion, if your particular website or your application under test is not very appealing, you will not get return customers or return clients. Now, visual bugs are everywhere. This is of TripAdvisor, where you can see the text is overlapping. Here's one from Amazon Prime, where you can see the pop-up offline or sidelined. From very own Facebook, you can see the left-hand side column is too thin, which is not pleasing to the eye. Here's from LinkedIn, where you can see repetitive text that is seen. So we really need to understand what's the difference between functional and visual test. So functional test ensures that there is no bugs in the input and output functionality of our application, and visual test ensures no visual discrepancies detract from the aesthetics or usability of your app. Now, yes, functional test is really important, but if the user cannot use your app, then it is of no use. So your application can be functionally correct, but if it is not visually correct, it may not be pleasing to the user. Say, for example, you want to log in into a website, and what if your login button text is not clear or not visible, or it is offline? How will the user understand that what button he needs to click to log in, or where is the button where I can click so that I can log in? So these are the reasons why we normally are inclined or would like all of us to start thinking about visual test when you do testing. Now, how traditional checkpoints work. So suppose you want to visually validate one screen there, and there are 20 elements like icons, buttons, etc. Right? So normally we go with like visible equal to true, false, finding the XY coordinates, the height, the width, whether the background color matches. So this traditional approaches, the number of assertions that we had to add was really very complex, right? So taking this example of 20 visual elements and then adding 5 assertions per element, you had to write 100 lines of assertion code. Now the complexity also increased when the platforms were diversified. Say like we had to run this test on 30 different platforms, different OSs, different browsers, Chrome, Firefox, different mobile devices. So the combination then also multiplies, like 20 visual elements into 30 different platforms. It's like 600 unique configurations. Now, most of our applications are not one screen. So say your application has 100 screen, this computes to around 60,000 unique configurations or checkpoints that you have to write. So this is really very crazy. Deployments are faster than ever. There are deployments happening every minute, every second. And our manual visual test should not slow us down. The conventional workflow of how visual validation would be done is basically you would run the application under test, you take your screenshots, then you compare these two screenshots with the baseline image. You set one as a baseline and you compare both of these images, and then you report the differences. And suppose there is an update to an application, then you update the baseline. Very straightforward, four simple steps of how the workflow of visual validation normally works. So I have just taken a sample. There are various ways of how visual testing is done. I have just taken one of the open source applications, which is OpenCV and num.py, to just show you how traditional visual tests normally work. So here is a particular image. This is basically Apple Maps. So I am basically trying to compare the differences between these two images. So I import CV, and then I import num.py, and then I specify and read these two particular images where I have stored them. Then I compare the differences, basically subtract them using cv2.subtract, and then I find out whether these images are same or these images are different. So traditional way of doing this was really very good with regards to open source. So here I have run it, and you get like the images are different. Now it stores it in a particular file. So you should be getting an image like this using OpenCV2. You will be able to see what exactly the differences were. Now to find these differences is not really very easy. If you see the image, you may not be able to compare it really well. So I have just put all of these three images together to give you a visual view of how these differences normally look like, right? So for example, the time was missing, The scale had a missing 0 in it. Falls Creek location was missing. The area or the name Vancouver, the R was missing, or the degree in that percentage was missing. Now this is really very difficult for a visual eye to compare, and that's where this visual testing or the concept of visual testing has been very popular recently. So how are traditionally some of these tools doing this? We call them snapshot tests. So it is basically comparing one bitmap with another bitmap image. It is like a pixel to pixel comparison. And if the pixels do not match, then you get a difference, using a white, which says, okay, the pixels match, and red, which shows that the pixel is different. Now this traditional bitmap comparators had a problem of what we know as anti-aliasing, right? So if you take a screenshot in one application and you take the exact screenshot in a different browser or in a different device, you will be able to see false positives. Like, for example, that you see here in the screen, we are comparing a playlist before and a playlist after. Even though they look to be similar to the eye, their pixel mapping is not very correct. So if your size of the baseline image does not match, or if the brightness is a mismatch, the snapshot test will not be able to give you accurate differences. And that's where the problem of anti-aliasing comes into picture. And hence, I'm going to talk about a very smart tool, which is Applitools Eyes, which uses the power of AI. It uses, an Applitools SDK, which will interact with your web application and then correlate the visual differences, your DOM and CSS differences, and able to find out this using the power of AI. So I will start with a very simple example, which is a Hello World's website, which is by Applitools.ai itself. And this website is basically, you click on Click Me, you will see your thumbs up, and then you will see the letter as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you click a different URL, which is diff1, the numbers will change. So it changed from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 9, 6, 4, 4, 6, 8. So I am just using this simple application to figure out how we can compare these two differences. So I import selenium.webdriver. I import Applitools Selenium Eyes. Now to install Applitools Eyes, you need to go to the pip.org project eyes.selenium, run pip install eyes selenium. The reason I'm doing it is I'm doing it in Python, so that's why I'm using pip. You can also install it differently. And then you need to interact with the Applitools AI. So for that, you need to log into Applitools AI. At the left-hand side, you should see the My API key, where you have to get this key so that you can interact with the Applitools AI. Now, to interact with any external third-party systems, you really need to have the API key. So rest of the things is really very simple. You define the capabilities. I'm running the first test in an Android emulator. You can run it in the browser or any other device for that matter. So you need to initialize the eyes, assign the Applitools key, and these are 3 keywords, which is eyes.open. You need to open the eyes first after you import, and then traditionally you do a driver.get, which goes to the particular URL. Then you do a eyes.check window, which is basically your visual checkpoint, which is given by eyes. Now this visual assertions are reduced with this eyes.check window. Now, if you have seen in my previous example where I said we had to write 100 assertions, now eyes.check window is one simple command which can actually capture the entire screen and visually validate it. So basic commands: eyes.open, eyes.check window, which does a visual comparison, then eyes.close to close the particular check. So we are logging into Hello World here again. In the example I showed you previously, I'm running the particular script. So it captures the particular visual snapshot of the current page, the Hello World page which I am in. So it takes the particular snapshot of this particular Android emulator. Then I go on Click Me, which are simple Selenium commands. And then it also checks and takes a snapshot of this particular page after you click on Click Me. So now this is done. So once this is done and your test has run, you then have to navigate to Applitools Eyes, refresh, and then you will be able to see this particular images that have been captured. So we just ran them now. We saw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't have a baseline. We will add a baseline. Just click on the thumbs up icon or the pass icon, which is the green icon on the right hand side, which you see there, and you should be able to save your baseline image. So this happens for the first run. Now I would just want to show you how easy it is to visually compare. So I'm just changing the URL to diff1, where we know that now that we are running diff1, the particular page will actually have the number which comes in the page to change. So now I'm running the Hello World diff1, which is exactly same visually, except for the number that is being generated here. So now you just want to compare on this aspect. So now you see that the number which you see right now has changed. OK, so exact same thing for Applitools. You open the eyes, you do the eyes.check window command. You check this particular window in simple steps. You hit on click me. Again, you check this window using eyes.check window command in simple steps, and you're done with it. So this is what is to do if you want to visually see. Now, if you see, there has been an error which has come. Now, this error is not because of Python. It is because of Applitools eyes, which tells you that there is a diff error found in your visual comparison that you did. So if you hit this particular and refresh, you will be able to actually see the differences. So for this demo purpose, I've just given a simple difference of numbers. But yes, the eye is intelligent enough to even find out really complex differences as well. So here you see after these two actions, how these differences have been found. You can click on the the thumbs down command to tell that, OK, this failed. My baseline was actually the one which was correct. So this is how you actually use Applitools eye in a simple format: eyes.open, eyes.check window, and eyes.close. And this automatically integrates and saves your screenshot in your test. So let's talk about how we can deal with large DOM structures. Now, at times it happens that, OK, the screenshot that we take does not fit because the page is too long or too wide. So I'll just give you an example. This is an open source website, which is internetHaruQ.app. You can Google it. So this is an example of a large DOM page where there is around 50 levels deep structure. So it is really very long in terms of the length, and then even in terms of the width, it's really very wide as well. So you can see this is really very huge. It is practically impossible to even take a snapshot in a traditional way for this particular website, though now we have a lot of tools which can do that individually. But yes, Applitools does it with a simple command, which is eyes.force full page screenshot equal to true. And that's about it. Your steps remain the same. You go to the URL, you open your eyes, you check the window, and you close it. OK, so exactly same, just an additional command, which is eyes.force full page screenshot, and you will be able to easily take a snapshot of a large DOM object, and then also as well compare these two particular compare the differences. Should your application or should your pages have some of these particular issues? So here I have opened this particular page. Now what Applitools is doing is it's just scanning across the entire page horizontally as well as vertically, and taking a screenshot of the page because of the command that we given as full screenshots. So it is very easy to actually capture the entire screenshot of the page for DOM objects. So your solution when it comes to dealing with large DOM objects is easily solved using this very simple command. So we'll wait for this test to run. It will capture the screenshot and it will save it back into Applitools. So now the test has run. Now we'll go back to Applitools eyes, refresh, and just check whether it has captured the entire screenshot. You will see that that entire screenshot is captured by Applitools eye. So I already had a baseline, so you will not see the differences between these two. But it is as simple as, yes, the entire screenshot was captured, and should there be any differences, Applitools will easily capture it. So yes, so the next one is visual testing match level by content. Now at times we have use cases where we are least bothered about how the color of our application looks like. We are just worried about the content. Now here is an example of automation bookstore, which is designed by Angie Jones. You can get it on the internet as well. So I'm just using this for a demo. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the price labels or the CSS of this particular application from purple to red. So I save my CSS file and I just rerun this particular application. You'll be able to see that now the color has changed to red. Now I'm least bothered about what the color is. I'm more worried about the content. So by default, Applitools has a match level as strict, but there are intelligent ways of how you can just monitor content. So how to do that is just import match level using applitools.common. And then you have to specify this command, which is eyes.matchLevel, matchLevel.content. And that's about it. Rest of the steps, open eyes.open, eyes.check window, eyes.close. All of these again remain conventional. So it is as simple as it gets using this particular Applitools eyes command, where you can see, now that we are not worried about how the color of the application looks like, we are just worried about content, and we are instructing Applitools eyes to just focus on the content and not the color. So I have run this automation bookstore, and now I'm trying to capture the particular run of this and take a visual snapshot. I'm tracing through the content of this, the book names and the prices, and then I go back to Applitools and I just check and refresh. You will be able to see that that snapshot has come in. I click on confirm and I open this. And now you'll be able to see there are no differences reported by Applitools eyes, even though there are actually differences in color. So this is how Applitools eyes, is able to ignore certain differences in terms of match level. There are a number of match levels that we have other than match level.strict. So I'll talk about that in the next demo, but I have rerun this particular app using match level strict, and now you'll see if I use this match level strict, you'll be able to actually find out these differences. So Applitools has this preview as well, where you can actually see and compare these particular differences of match levels, like exact, which is like a bit to bit comparison, pixel to pixel comparison. Then they have the strict, then they have content, and then they have the layout as well. So I'll talk about layout in the coming demo, but yeah, with this particular match levels, you should be able to easily bypass if your test demands that you're not worried about color and just content. So that's how you do it. Now, how do we deal with situations like layout, right? At times what happens is we have to automate pages which are dynamic. Now, this is an example of a dynamic page, again from internethoroku.com. So it is basically, this page has various dynamic images that come into, and even various dynamic contents. When you click on a refresh, this particular content as well as this images change, right? So at times we do have a lot of applications where our contents change, but we are not worried about the content. We are worried about the layout of this particular application. So how do we do that in Applitools? Again, absolutely very simple, just a simple change, which is match level dot layout, and that's about it. You import the match level, you open the eyes, you navigate to do that particular website that is under test, you take a check window visual snapshot and close your eyes, and that's about it. So match level layout is very very simple when it comes to dealing with when you want to just compare the layout of your page, right? And you should be good with it. So this is also really very useful when you have dynamic applications where content keeps changing, or you have dynamic images, or the movies or something's playing around, and you don't really want to ignore that particular area or that image. So here we have run this test, And now you will be able to see that there are no differences here. Now I'll just change the match level to strict to show you actually that there were differences. So here you can actually see that there were differences in our dynamic page, but if you select match level.layout, these differences are actually ignored. So that's how you deal and automate or visually test dynamic pages. Now, there could be a case where you also are not worried about checking the entire page. At times we go into a very agile kind of a methodology of delivery where we just want to check, maybe say just the header for now. Our developers have rolled out just the header, or developers have rolled out just the footer, or a particular region that you want to check right now. Rest of the things are not ready. So you can do that as well in Applitools. So I'll take the same example of this automation bookstore by Angie Jones. So here I just want to just concentrate on this advanced Selenium in Java particular region that I want to just visually test. So I just go into the developer tools. I find the locator or the ID of this particular region. And again, here very much simple. Specify the element that you're looking for to capture. And then you just use the simple command, which is eyes.check region, pass the element and your checkpoint name. And that's about it. Again, exact same process, eyes.open, check the window. And now what it does is when you're running this particular application, it goes into the Applitools gets here. It finds out this particular region based on the ID that we have identified, which is PID6. It pulls in the particular region snapshot, and then it stores that in Applitools. So the test is run now. We have captured the region. If you go to Applitools, refresh, and then you will be able to see that this particular region has been captured. So this is very useful when you are in an agile way of delivery, where you want to actually capture snapshots or just test a particular region of your application. So you can do this using check region command. Now, just going a little bit offbeat, where there are times we have to compare PDFs. Now, at times, yeah, this has been very tricky. You have to write a lot of lines of code, and it gets really very difficult. So there is an utility which is called as image tester, which is built. You can get it on the internet, and what it does is it is able to easily compare this particular PDFs and also show you the visual difference integrated with Applitools Eyes. So I'll show you an example. Here are two PDFs. So I'll start with the first PDF wherein my name is written in green, right? And then there is another PDF which I open now, and here my name is in black, right? So it could be any complex PDF. I'm just showing it as an example to be very simple. You can download this particular image tester. If you Google it, you'll be able to get this particular jar file. So download it. You will need this particular jar file to easily compare your PDF in a single step. So what is that step? Right. So I have just imported the OS and the shutil, and I have got the environment variables from my key. So yeah, you don't really have to worry about shutil. It's just about copying the files from X location to my particular place of comparison. What you need to think about is the command line command. So to run command line, I use os.system java -jar. I specify the location where this particular jar file is. I specify the Applitools key which I want to use to integrate and get these differences, and -f is just like use this particular file from this particular my location of run or test. So that's about it, right? You have to run this simple command, which is java -jar Applitools Eyes, and it will easily able to compare your PDF with the baseline. So I have two use cases where I'm comparing the Selenium green one, which is my actual baseline, which it shows passed, and then I'm comparing with the one which is black, which is also mismatched. So when you run this particular command line argument, you'll be able to see the various differences. So my first test where I compared a PDF where my name was in green color. So now this is, it passes, and then you find another PDF integrated in Applitools Eyes where you can see the actual differences between names. So you can use this particular image tester jar file, very intelligently and integrate it with your actual test or, your applications which are generating actual PDFs. For the context of this demo, I have just generated this PDFs or placed them in a particular location, but you can also fetch this particular PDFs from your actual location of where your application is generating it, and then use it for your automation. So this is how you can visually compare PDFs and also integrate it with ApplyTools. The last thing I would like to cover is on the visual testing. It's basically how batches and integrations work. So I'll be a bit fast here. Yeah, so it is about you import the batches, you specify the batch info, which is the visual test batch run. You initialize the eyes, you specify the batch info. At times it happens that you don't run one test at a time. You want to run them in batches. So you create a set of these test cases. For example, you can use PyTest for that matter. And I'm just showing you a simple example here where I'm opening and closing eyes and running it in batch. So here the batches run. You should be able to see two batches where I'm visually comparing the home and the click page. ApplyTools gives a huge and elaborative way of how you can compare these images and gives you the result, test, pass, etc. And I'll just show you one additional thing of how you can integrate it with other applications useful for CI/CD, etc. So go into the admin tab, click on Teams, click on your name. You will see integrations tab in the admin tab where you can easily integrate it with other applications, to accelerate your CI/CD. If you want a notification in Slack or an email, you should be able to see it after your runs. So all of these integrations using Jira, GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, all of them are possible. So I'd like to conclude. It's like, as we say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. A snapshot is definitely worth 1,000 assertions. And I'm not sure how many of you have noticed, but in my About Me slide, I had missed the particular circle in the Selenium Summit logo, as well as I had made it grayscale. Now it's very easy for our eyes to actually skip some of these, but with visual testing, this is something that we can possibly avoid, right? So respect our test pyramid, do all of the testings, but over and above that, don't miss to actually think of including visual tests in your test. So tools can be many. Here's my references. I have used ApplyTools blogs. There are wonderful advanced courses. If you're interested, you can refer Test Automation University, where there are advanced courses from experts like Jonathan Libs, Angie Jones herself, and many other experts. So have a look at that if you want to explore more on this area. Yeah, I thank Agile Testing Alliance for giving me that opportunity to speak at their Selenium Summit, and you can connect to me on LinkedIn or Twitter. So hope you enjoyed it. Again, just to be very generic, this demo was in Python. You can definitely use it in any language, Java, Ruby, JavaScript, etc. And it has also integrations with various frameworks. So yeah, that's about it from my side. Over to you for questions.
Wonderful. That is the word I would say. Wonderful. After the magic, this was the real magic. The
Thank you
magic,
so
magic,
much.
I would say. It was very insightful, very awesome, and very tightly coupled session. We have seen everything, and there was one question there from Gaurav that your hands are moving, and who is controlling the system then? So it was just the magical. So thank you so much, Ghazli, for this
Thank you so much.
wonderful
Thank you.
presentation. Wonderful. So we have some questions, I guess here. Yeah, I'll just read it out for you. Any alternative to not store in ApplyTool Cloud? Company projects may have problems uploading data on ApplyTools.
Right. So ApplyTools is like a system which is very secure, right? So I don't want to promote ApplyTools as such, right? If you have again problems, so basically you need to decide which tool serves you the best, right? So we have various tools to do that. My only advice would be to focus on considering visual test. If you have problems using ApplyTools, definitely it is safe, and the claim it to be safe even though it is on the cloud. It is absolutely safe, but there are various other open source tools as well. But yeah, they come with their pros and cons, like Backstop JS, or if you had heard the recent session from Umesh, right, on Shutterbug. So there are a lot of these open source tools as well, but they have their own limitations. We have WebDriver CS and a lot of other pixel compare is as well there, which is like open source tools, which you can store your images locally. So that is as well possible, but then you will have to tweak it a bit. It won't be as seamless as what I showed with Applitools, right, where they are storing these baselines on the cloud. But if that is an option, you can always tweak your framework to use other visual testing tools as well, which are available in the market, which allow you to save your baseline there. The only thing I would say is the problem comes with baseline maintenance as well, right? Applitools is very seamless when it comes to baseline maintenance or updating your baseline. But then, yeah, again, you'll have to get into that loop of a maintenance nightmare when it comes to saving your baselines on your local, right? And it is very tedious, right? It doesn't look as sugar coated as it was in my demo. It becomes very tedious if you actually try to manually manage the baselines, which was one of the basic issues that we had when it came to traditional approaches of how we do visual validations. Yeah.
So next question we have, one more question was there that was on similar line. That's what you answered from Pravesh. The next question we have, do we have a solution for A and B? I guess it is alpha and beta testing with a prediction model of common usability patterns.
Yes. So Applitools supports a lot of things. I'll just quickly get into their website so that it's also easy for you. Let me just quickly share my screen. Okay. Okay. So, right. Okay. Here, so if you go into their website, they show a lot of use cases where you can do A to B testing. You can do PDF testing is something I demoed. You can do localization testing where you want to compare, with different regions. You can do cross browsers testing. They have released their new tool, which is the ultra grid testing, where you can test it across multiple tools in fraction of seconds. You can do your compliance checks here. You can do localization, PDFs. So all of the testings, A to B testing, codeless testing, storybook testing, all of this is possible with Applitools ICE. So it's a really good tool. You can use it for various other testing methodologies as well. So there are various use cases Applitools covers.
Okay. So next question is, if there is a website where buttons are not on the right positions or not of right color, will it tell those problems? Comparison thing is good where we have baseline.
Right. So
and another question adding to that, do we need to have baseline images for all OS and all devices?
Right. So so basically how this works. Can I get that question? Okay. So if there is a website where buttons are not on the right position or not on right color, will it tell those problems? Yes, definitely. Applitools will tell this particular options, right? So if you see that if the positions are changing, definitely Applitools captures the particular DOM structure and is able to identify this particular comparison. So it is very much possible by Applitools. Can I get the next question? Okay, do you need to have baseline for all images?
Compare the image files such as PNG, JPG format.
Is it supports? Okay.
Compare the image files such as PNG or JPG. Means we can compare the files.
Definitely. So basically, Applitools captures this particular thing. So you don't really need to save it in a PNG or a JPG format. Whatever you see on the screen, the AI automatically captures this particular and saves this in a format recognized by Applitools. So you don't need to really worry about which format this is being generated on, right? And I think there was one question: do you need to have baseline images for all OS and all devices? Absolutely no. You just have to, that's the beauty of Applitools, right? You save the time to save the baselines for every application or every device. So you just have to save it once. And so basically there is an application baseline that you save and that compares it with all the devices. So it is also used for responsive testing as well. So Applitools is also used for responsive testing. So you really don't need to save your baselines again and again.
Okay. Is Applitools free? Free?
Applitools Yes. So the demo I gave you was on a free version. If you want to get a paid version, there are various other features that you can do apart from what I did. So Applitools is free. They give you like 100 checkpoint checks per month, and it is free for lifetime. So that is one thing they have done. The other thing is they've also open sourced some of their code, so you can possibly write to them. And let me just quickly share that if we have some time.
Yes, we have
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Yeah, so Applitools also supports open source projects, so you can just write to them and get the license. They definitely are able to help you with that. But then other than that, yeah, in terms of pricing, they have a free version, which I as well, try to explore this tool, and they give you a free version for individuals, right? So I'm not sure. Yeah. So it's you get a free account of one user forever, and you get 100 checkpoints per month. So if you really want to explore this tool, definitely give it an account. Go ahead, open an account in Applitools and try this out. It's really interesting to try out. Okay.
So the next question is, can we compare bulk PDFs with different features with respect to PDFs while testing?
Yes, definitely. You can loop. If it is a bulk PDF, of course, you'll have to write your logic of looping through those PDFs, and then you can compare them. So it is basically X to Y comparison, right? You cannot. So the image tester basically is an utility which is built to compare a PDF with their baseline image. So your baseline is always going to be the same, and then you can loop through multiple PDFs and start comparing. So that is how you can compare bulk PDFs.
Okay. I hope there is a last question. How is accessibility testing and visual testing related to each other? Does accessibility scenarios affect visual test scenarios?
Right. So accessibility is basically if I have a problem with the eye, right, or I'm not able to see clearly. So there is a particular dimension of how the particular application should look, right? So if you are like so if a person has a seeing problem, right? So normally how applications are designed for accessibility, they probably allow and give that ability for that application to zoom out, right? So at times what happens is whenever we zoom out, some of our applications are not responsive enough to cater to that thing, right? So that's how you can test accessibility with visual testing. So you increase the resolution of the browser, and then you will be able to compare your application with the baseline and do this accessibility test. So there are a number of accessibility tests, but this is just one example when it comes to the visual area where we can cover to test application for someone who is has a weak eyesight, or someone who is partially blind. So we do have a lot of use cases, and nowadays even organizations are pushing towards accessibility as well, to make sure that is there. And then there are other accessibility options. So this is the visual aspect of it, and then you have someone who cannot hear. There is in terms of text to speech kind of testing that you do. But yeah, that is not in the context of the visual testing. Visual testing is more towards to cater to individuals who have issues with the eyes, right, or seeing the particular screen, or even some of them may have color blindness, right? So uh, these are options you can try out.
Okay. So yes, so you have answered Pallavi's question. So every question has been answered. Is there any more questions, guys?
Yeah,
We
I
have
just
30
would,
seconds.
yeah, Gaurav this side. So I would just like to clarify on the question that I asked. So you rightly said that that comparison can be done. So my question was, is visual testing just about comparison? For example, maybe if I'll open a site for the first time, maybe many people will miss to notice a button is not properly aligned and all. So those
Right.
kind of generic validation,
Right.
are they part of visual testing, or is it just
Okay.
comparison?
So basically, yeah. So visual testing, if you see, there is a good topic here. You can go. It's more about where does visual testing fit into the testing pyramid. It's usually at the top of the testing pyramid. You do not Visual testing will not do anything functional, right? You still have to do your unit test cases. You still have to do your system test cases, integration test cases. So it's at the top of the pyramid. So there is a good, probably a talk by Anand Bagmar which says where should visual testing actually lie? It is at the top of the testing pyramid, right? So you cannot escape other testings, but yes, you need to consider visual testing. That is there. So doing visual testing will not help you capture any sort of functional bugs, right? So it is just about image to image comparisons. So yes, all other testings are really important, but yes, you definitely can top it up with visual testing. So it is not something you can avoid other tests if you have visual test.
Thank you so much, Gosli. It was a wonderful session. Magic, then eyes. We'll see what next we have. So, thank you so much, Gosli, for this particular session and answering all the questions. It was really, really wonderful. So, thanks a lot from all the on the behalf of all the Selenium Organizing Committee, Selenium Summit Organizing Committee, and Agile Testing Alliance.
I'll also
Thank you
like
so
to
much.
thank Test Chat as well. They had recommended me. So thank you so much, the Test Chat community. Yeah.